What's going on, everybody? It's the Indoor Hunter, and we're back with another Call of the Wild video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm currently on the PC account just for recording easeability. Typically, I'm actually mostly playing on my Xbox account. That being said, I wanted to make this video, and doing it on PC is just a little bit easier. So for those of you that have been following me know that I just got the Great One Whitetail after a long and tedious grind. I'm very happy to have him in the trophy lodge, but of course I decided to jump right into the next grind. We're going for the Great One Moose. That being said, a question popped in my head, because, you know, with the whitetail, it can be annoying when you miss a shot or make a bad shot, and you got to track them a little bit extra. It's no big deal, though. That being said, even with a good shot on a moose, they still seemingly run quite far. And so I asked myself, what's truly the best weapon or caliber to actually take down moose quick, which led to the next question. Well, which type of ammunition is truly the best? If you search the internet, everyone's going to tell you polymer tip ammunition is the way to go. But is that true? Now, don't get me wrong, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to highly recommend using polymer tip ammunition over the soft point, simply because it is safer to use in the respect of, if you are shooting at an animal that's quartering away or to you, you've got a better chance of penetrating into a vital organ and thus successfully harvesting that animal. That being said, though, it may not necessarily be the fastest way to harvest that animal. Again, if we look at the expansion versus penetration of the ammunition in the game, expansion can roughly translate to damage. But does it actually equate from paper to target? And that's what I want to find out in today's video. Now, obviously, if you're using polymer tip ammunition and you get heart shots all the time, it's going to perform much better than soft points ever will. That's not what I want to test. I'm not necessarily testing marksmanship. I want to test the safest. You know, you've got a moose, 300 meters. It's the only shot you can get, but he's perfectly broadside. What's going to perform the best? Is it going to be your polymer tip or soft point? I think, my theory is, the soft point's actually going to perform pretty good at longer range distances. Really, what I want to test too, what's better? Is it a double long shot with the polymer tip, or is it a single long with a lot of expansion on the soft points? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to find out. Again, I'm not going to discriminate on what type of moose. If I see a female or male, we're going to test it out. They're both the same thing. We're not going trophy hunting. We're doing some science today, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so we found our first victim of the day. We've got a lone cow moose out there. She's nearly 300 meters out, but for science sake, we are going to get that 300 meters, and the first weapon we're going to be testing is the 7mm with polymer tip ammunition. So we're about 287. Again, though, I like to actually test this on the map just to see exactly how far. So we're actually only 277 meters, not 280. This is why you always want to check your map, not the rangefinder, because it may not be accurate. So let's see, we're shooting at 307. Again, let's check the map. We're at 297. That's close enough for science, right, folks? Alright, that's the 338. Probably don't want to be using that gun. There we go. Now, I do want to make sure. So we do have the polymer tips. We're going 0 for 300. And we'll take the safe shot there. That is a single long at least. She's dropping down in health. As you can see, with a vital organ hit, she's still running and running and running. And that's what we're trying to find out. What takes these things out faster? She's finally down all the way up there. Alright, so here's our moose, and as you can see, I've got it marked. She ran for almost 200 meters. Let's see the damage done. We did get a single lung, but as you can see, almost double long. But let's look at our quick kill bonus is 0%. That is to be expected. That was at 293 meters, so basically 300 meters. That being said, if the 7mm is all you got for moose, it is more than capable of killing them, as you can see here. Granted, you're not going to get that quick kill bonus, so that means your money is going to be a little bit less. Okay, we now have the soft point ammunition loaded, and we've got a pretty decent moose sitting at just shy of 300 meters, so let's see what happens. It appeared to be a good shot. He is dropping seemingly much faster than the female did. And he is down right there. So let's go investigate and see just what happened. So we've got the vital organ hit. And it does have a medium bleed rate, so he's bleeding pretty good. Again, this is with soft point ammunition at 300 meters, maybe just shy. And I would argue at distances further than that, you know, 320, 350, it's going to be a little risky taking those kind of shots, especially with the 7mm. But as you can see here, I mean, he did not go far at all. Remember, folks, the female went almost 200 meters. She was like 170 meters, so we're at 93 meters here. Let's see what happened. We got the single long, nearly the same shot placement as the female. If we go down here, he does have a quick kill of 59.44%. The female had 0% with the polymer tip ammunition. So, as of right now, with the 7mm on a broadside moose, I would choose the soft point ammunition. Now, I do want to test out the 7mm at its effective range, so at 150 meters or closer, with both soft point and polymer tip ammunition again, just to see if the range does have a factor. These moose are part of the group that we had spooked from our previous harvest here. But I'm going to try to sneak up to about 150 meters, and we're going to repeat the process. We have polymer tip ammunition loaded in the weapon currently, I think. Let's go ahead and check on that. Yep, we've got polymer tip loaded, ready to rock and roll. Again, the effective range for most weapons in the game is about 150 meters, especially for these rifles. So I want to get in that and see if that changes things. Now, the reason I tested 300 meters first is because for me, on my grind, a lot of my setups, especially with the new spook distance, I'm shooting more than 300 meters. So I wanted to test, you know, just the effectiveness of those calibers. Or at those ranges anyways. So let's see here. That looks about 150 meters. And we are at 150 meters. So let's go ahead and take our shot. That is a whitetail. Unfortunately, I did lose sight of him, so I can't actually see where he's going down at. So we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, get on his blood trail, and go from there. Not quite sure of his exact location where he was standing at, but we do have a medium blood trail, so let's go ahead and follow it. He's laying right there. He did not go far at all. 7mm brought him down pretty good. Again, that being said, we are within the effective range of the weapon. Surprisingly, however, we only got a single long shot. Now, it was just shy of a double lung, as you can see there. We almost got double lung. He did get a 1.1% quick kill bonus. Again, he didn't actually go very far at all, though, so that's where it starts getting kind of weird with the experimentation, because this is something I've noticed whilst doing my grind, and I've been doing this off-stream, obviously, kind of testing out between soft point versus polymer tips here, and this is the kind of the thing I've noticed. He went down pretty fast. His quick kill is only 1.1%, but that is actually better than it was at 300 meters, so the closer you are, the more effective those rounds are, essentially. That may actually end up being a little bit higher if you're even closer than that, but unfortunately don't have time to test that right now. So let's go ahead and switch to soft points and see if distance has any effect. And I think we have found our final victim with the 7mm. We're going to go ahead and take this shot. He's already dropping, which is a good sign. We've once again lost sight of him. but I don't expect him to have gone too far. So he didn't run too far, about 90 meters. Quick kill was at 61.67%. That was actually better than the 300 meter shot, which tells me, anecdotally, for the 7mm, you actually want to be using the soft point ammunition, which is kind of a surprising result. Again, if you're much closer, you are likely to get a double long shot, which may change those results a little bit. But by and large, I think most people are going to be using larger calibers, much more capable of making those double long shots than the 7mm. That's why we brought them, so I wanted to test those out as well. Now we have the 30-06 soft point ammunition at 150 meters, or its effective range, and I'm trying to decide which ones I want to shoot here. Now this one, a little close for comfort. That could sway the results. I just happen to get lucky with this thing coming up right next to me. I think we're going to target this female here. So let's go ahead and see what the 30-06 is capable of. I'm going to let her stand back up. It's dropping. Just to confirm. Yeah, she went 60 meters. That's pretty good. Single long, quick kill of 41.39%, which is pretty good. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. So I came over here to test out 300 meter distance for the 30-06 soft points. That being said, that might be the biggest moose that I have ever seen in the game. Obviously, with the exception to the great one. 278 to 332. This may be my first 300 class moose. That being said, we are not going to... That's another one? Are you kidding me? Sorry, folks. I've never seen that before. We've got two level 5 moose just hanging out right next to one another. Well, this video has taken a turn. We'll say that. These are giant moose. That being said, this 5 is definitely going to troll. That is a beautiful rack, but his max score is 263, so he's not going to make diamond. However, this guy is a guaranteed diamond, which is surprising to say because his rack doesn't seem that impressive, especially when you... Oh, there we go. That's why he's only got one brow tine. That's a unique looking rack. But let's get a little bit closer to this guy. I'm not going to be using the 7mm 30-06 for this. I'm definitely going to be pulling out the 300. Let's go ahead and do that now. And I want to make sure that I've got the ammunition loaded. We've got polymer tips. Good to go. Go ahead and 0 for 150. And let's take this guy out. What an absolute giant. Now, obviously, I'm comfortable and confident, but I want to get a little bit closer just in case. Again, I'm not going to experiment here. Like I said, we're in the middle of making this video. Polymer tip versus soft points. We're not going to find out on a giant diamond which one's the best. We're not going to risk it for the biscuit, you know, folks? He is just an absolute stud. Let's go ahead and pull out the 300. I am going to attempt a heart shot here again just to make sure we've got the polymer tips. We're at 150. We're going to let him raise his head. And like that, he should be down. I will say, to make an argument for polymer tips, that is Exhibit A. When you're able to identify where those vital organs are, it's a much better system to use. Again, I'm pretty good at taking heart shots on moose, and end results are right here in front of us. I just have my fingers crossed right now that this is my 300 moose that I've been after for so long. We're going to find out, though. This thing is an absolute stud. Let's go ahead and get a picture of him. Let's find out what we've got. 288, he is a diamond. Unfortunately, not the 300 that I wanted, but he is a giant nonetheless. He's absolutely going to go in the trophy lodge. Let's go ahead and do that before anything crazy happens. What a crazy turn of events, folks. Here we are trying to make a video for something else, and we've got an absolute giant of a diamond out here. That is awesome. But staying on theme here, we can look at the performance here of the 300 polymer tip on this animal at 165 meters. We got both lungs, heart, perfect shot all around. So at the end of the day, I think my results are somewhat inconclusive. I have a feeling the smaller caliber weapons do perform better with soft point ammunition simply because their penetrations aren't that great. The higher caliber weapons, however, I would definitely stick to the polymer tip simply because, like I said earlier in the video, they're a lot safer to use. You can get away with a lot more. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm recording. The shot placement is much more important when it comes to soft points. You don't want to hit any sort of bone or anything like that with the soft points. You're not going to get very far doing that. That being said, if you can hone your marksmanship skills in the game, aim for heart. Because obviously, especially when it comes to moose or bigger game, when you can hit heart shots with polymer tips, they're not going to go anywhere. You don't have to track them. It makes grinding much more efficient. So yeah, I don't really know definitively which is better, polymer tip or soft points. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, what you use. Again, I do think there is a case for soft point ammunition when it comes to price. If you're grinding, you don't have a whole lot of money, stick to your soft points. It's going to force you to get better shots, and in some cases that'll force you to have better hunting habits. Myself, I like to run a gun, and a lot of times I'll just take whatever shot opportunity presents itself because I know that polymer tip's going to punch through that shoulder blade or that chest plate, what have you. That being said, I appreciate everybody stopping by, watching the video. Again, this one's been kind of hectic. That diamond was completely unexpected. I love it, though. I'll see you guys in the next one.